doing?
Hey, I'm good, Lisa. How are you?
Good. You have been so busy this past year since I last talked to you in the studio. I think you
Yep.
have recorded, what, 9 singles, Joe?
Yeah, we've been hitting almost one a month here since March. So it's been busy, been good.
You know, I love your sound in that gunpowder country style that you're so famous for. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that style, that gunpowder country that you bring to your music?
Sure. Well, I'm an old hard rock guy, and it's kind of hard to get some of that grit out of your voice sometimes. And when I started going down to Nashville, I heard obviously everybody's heard Brantley Gilbert, and I thought, man, he's got this cool sound, and if he's a rock guy, and if he can make his way into the country scene, I was like, I think I can do something too. He got the heavy guitars and stuff, and but as I got older and had some storytelling to do, it made more sense for me to move into the country lane. Um, and I guess working with my producer and finding an original, unique sound that nobody else is doing has kind of been our mission, and I think we're hitting it.
Oh, absolutely. Every one of your songs to me is so authentic and whatever you're singing about. And what I like about you, Joe, is that you're a big old country guy. You played football back in the day, even
Yep.
at the college level, but yet you have this soft side to you. And I really want to talk to you about the one song that touched me so much and gave me chills was the song that you wrote, It Used to Be Me. What was the message you were trying to capture with the words in that song?
I think we live in a pretty judgmental society, and I caught myself judging younger guys, especially like out at shows, and I'd be like, man, they're headed for a heartache type of mentality, and judging them. They, all tattooed up, and and I've got some tats, but it seems like it really has taken off, with the younger generation, and I kind of caught myself being judgmental, and I thought, that used to be me, and if I made it through those times, so can they. And so I just wanted to get out of that headspace, that negative headspace. And when I sat down with Dale and Big Vinny in Nashville, we wrote this song, Used to Be Me. And it's really just about, wherever you're at in life, just embracing it and understanding that life's going to keep moving forward, God willing. And there might be brighter days ahead for them. So don't judge them too harshly.
I think that's good advice. And I know you have a son
Yep.
who I've seen in some of your TikToks and in a recent video that you produced in the song, Hey Son. Why don't you tell us about that song? It was fantastic.
Well, thank you. Obviously I think any father can relate to that song. And I wrote it from my perspective with my dad, and kind of what he had preached to me growing up and raising me, and now that I have a son. And it was just kind of the sentiment of handing down those values that that were bestowed upon you to your son, and hopefully carry on some of those traditions of not forgetting where you come from, not forgetting how to work hard, roll your sleeves up, and make things happen. I think we live in a very different time today with social media, and everybody's glued to their screens, and obviously you're seeing all the hard work and blue collar jobs. I mean, they're really anybody that's willing to do some work out there is doing pretty well for themselves today. And um, whether it's farmers or like with my family working on equipment, washers and dryers. I mean, we're in the laundry equipment business and service and repairs, and it's not glorious. It's not being on stage playing for people, but it definitely pays the bills, and it's a needed thing. And I think the sentiment's just to stay humble, and don't be afraid to work for what you want to go get in life.
Yeah, and I think that song would resonate with almost anyone because I do feel that um those words are very wise, and I did like the video where you incorporated personal photos of you
Yeah.
growing up, and I saw your son on the guitar, and, is he gonna maybe follow in dad's footsteps?
I mean, we'll see. You know, he loves music, and it's so fun to watch him bring me songs that I grew up with, and he's just discovering for the first time. And we'll be riding around in the car listening to music. It's our kind of our way of bonding, and you'll start seeing some videos there. I asked him if he would want to kind of do a little mini father son podcast with me, because he's, you know, he does love watching what I'm doing, and he loves the music. He listens to it all the time, and you know, he's got a couple guitars, and he's got a little electronic drum kit and piano, and we're kind of you know, waiting to see what's going to stick for him. But I think so. I think he'll he didn't fall too far from the tree, if you know what I mean. And but I didn't, you know, I didn't come from a musical family. I mean, we came. I grew up listening to music, but you know, I didn't really have any kind of mentor in this until you know, a lot later in life. And but yeah, it's a lot of fun to watch him and take interest in it.
Yeah, I bet. So I wanted to play a snippet of one of your newest releases. Love this song, Devil in the Details. And I'm going to go ahead, Joe, and play that song. And when we come back, we'll talk more music.
Cats with black hats, driving Cadillacs, making deals that you'll never ever see. The smoke hides the liars, news lights the fire, creating this illusion of inclusion. Can't believe what you see, can't believe what you read. When the devil's in the details, can't trust what you feel, no one knows what is real. When the devil's in the details. Read between the lines more than meets the eye.
Joe, what a great song. You know how to kick it in those cowboy boots. Let me tell you.
Well, that's definitely on the heavier end of the spectrum for us, but I love that song, and a lot of my rock and, you know, hard rock friends really like that song too. It's got those heavy guitars going, and you know, it's kind of a little darker storyline, if you will. But it's, you know, I think it's something that's really prevalent today, especially with politics and all the evils in the world that seem to go on. And you know, keep your eyes open because the devil's in the details.
You know, social media and internet has really changed, you know, our world.
It's it's really taken advantage of our natural self-centeredness, you know, and our, you know, as soon as you get people with split personalities, they're different online than they are in person. And I know, you know, probably when you were growing up and I was growing up, that people were more willing to look you in the eye and walking down the street, say hi, and now you can't get people to even look at you when you're walking past them.
Yeah. Yeah. And, you know, I think with your music, you take such time to look at messages that you want the listener to hear. And a lot of it is that good and evil storyline, which I love. It's fascinating. What inspires you to kind of go down that path for some of your songs?
Well, a lot of hard life lessons, I would say. Uh, you know, my mother is very religious. You know, I grew up, and I'm a Catholic. I grew up in a Catholic family, and I strayed pretty far, let's put it that way, from the practicing, uh, you know, practicing in the church and stuff. And I think I learned a lot of lessons that are written about in that big book. And I felt like the only way to make sense of some of the stuff that I went through and some of the stuff that I know other people are going through is to try to, um, turn a negative into a positive. And that's how I feel with writing music is that, there's millions of songs in the world, and, what do I have to offer? And the only thing I have to offer is my experience. And so every song starts with something that I've been through. And there's me in every one of these songs, even though I write with other writers. We're all circling around ideas that I bring to the table. And, some songs I have a lot more influence in, some I have less, but there's a lot of me in every song. And that's the only way I can, my producer gets mad at me because, well, he doesn't get mad at me. He says, Joe, people don't want to be preached at all the time. I said, I know, I get it, but like I was preached at growing up all the time. So it's really kind of the only way I know how to do it. But I try to be empathetic and, kind of take some of that pressure off and just shine some light on some of the some of the less fun parts of life, especially, growing up, going through, maturity and you're at, your teenage years and your early 20s and just learning how to live on your own. And like I said, I made plenty of, I'm pretty hard headed, so I have to learn things the hard way. But once I learn them, I kind of remember them.
I can relate, Joe. Some of your songs resonate with me. Trust me.
Well, good. They resonate with me, my family, the guys in the band. I mean, it's crazy to see people like me in a way, like these fellas in the band. It's like they're not just playing because they want to, go out on tour or play the big stages. They play it because they love the music, just like you said. I mean, they resonate with the messages. It's parts of their life as well, and I that's what I love about it. I mean, it's the community, it's the connection. If somebody says I like this song, immediately I know something about them, and we can be connected without even just. I mean, if that's the only connection we have, I mean, it's pretty cool to watch people come up after shows and tell you how stuff they're going through and it matters to this song or that song. And it's really special, and I don't take it for granted. And that's really my motivation to keep going. It's just because I want to keep doing that over and over again on bigger and bigger stages. And, it's all about trying to connect and be of service to other people.
Well, you're doing a great job. Thank you so much for joining me today and taking the time to talk about, all that you're doing. And I want to close the show out with one of my favorite songs that you just released. And it's called Bury Me with My Boots On. And why don't you tell us a little bit about that and how also our listeners can follow you on social media?
Absolutely. So social media, it's joehermesmusic.com is the website. It's the handles Joe Hermes Music on, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Try to keep it all streamlined so you guys can find me and follow along. Bury Me with My Boots On. That is a killer country rock song, or as I like to say, rock country or gunpowder country. It is kind of encompasses everything we've been talking about between the blue collar, hard working sentiment, but it takes it beyond the grave, which I think is really cool. We were writing this song. I was driving down to Nashville. I'd been working all week. I was just beat down. I was tired and got into the writing room, and I said, man, all I've done is work. I said, I'm going to be working so long. I'll be working after I'm dead. So you might as well bury me with my boots on. And it was like, there came the title and away we went. And, we started the song with a line that God loves a working man. And that was something my dad said to me all the time. And that kicks the song off. And then we get into, the whole idea that the devil don't quit, so neither will I. So bury me with my boots on. and when I get to them pearly gates, I told, I said, hey, St. Peter's, I said, hey, Pete, strap those wings on tight, because the devil don't quit and neither do I. And I mean, I love everything about this song, and it lets us rock out on stage. It has some of those bluesy vocal licks that I don't really get to showcase very much in a lot of what we're doing, but I have it in me, and I really like that color in the vocal. So I encourage everybody to go listen to it and follow along.
We're going to go ahead and listen to a snippet of Joe Hermes' song, Bury Me With My Boots On. And when we come back, we're going to close out the show.
Crack of dawn on my very first day. I'm gonna say, hey Pete, strap my wings on tight. The devil don't quit, and neither do I. A country boy will survive. Bury me with my boots on. I'll still be working when I'm dead and gone. Send me off with a whiskey shot and a by God Johnny Cash song. Bury me with my boots on. Bury me, you bury me with my boots on. Yeah.
Man, Joe, it's amazing.
Well, thank you, Lisa. I appreciate the opportunity to showcase it here with you.
All right. Well, thanks so much. And Joe, like I always say at the end of my podcast, that's a wrap.